Hey folks, it's Maxwell here and welcome to another week of AEW television. We have our 4 shows as we get ever closer to Double or Nothing. Quite an action-packed show this one, for Dynamite at least. I think it's roughly about 14 or 15 segments. Quite a lot of angles, because we're obviously hunting to put the card together for the pay-per-view. I have written down 13 matches, which is quite remarkable considering I have 4 storylines, so that's something I need to work on. But in truth, as I say, the next few months will be a lot of kind of resets and into the programme. So yeah, hopefully it's some good stuff. Obviously, as soon as we do Double or Nothing, we've got a wee quick battle of the belts, and then we're into Blood and Guts. And then just a matter of all in after that. So some good stuff on the horizon. But hey, let's just jump straight into it. First off, here's Dynamite. We opened the show with that all-decisive triple threat match to win the group they were in, which I can't remember, in the Grand Prix. Hikaru Shida, Mercedes Moné and Toni Storm. It was going to main event at one point, and then I thought that we're going to lose Pop with main event spotlight, so they got the opener, but they still got main event minutes, and it was a good matchup. It saw Toni Storm defeat Hikaru Shida and Mercedes Moné in 21-41 when Toni pinned Shida with the strong 0. 72 for the wrestling, 59 for the crowd, and a 64 segment. Mercedes was using creative control not to lose the match, so we took the pinfall to Shida, and we had to keep Mercedes looking strong, so that was a bit annoying, because obviously she is like the top woman in the company in terms of popularity, but I want Toni and a few others to be at that level, so Mercedes, we kind of need to keep you. That's why I don't want to I took the TBS title off her for that reason, because she was kind of like, oh, I don't know if I want to lose to them, etc, etc. But it sets up a few things for Double or Nothing. It means the Final 4, which I think will probably be a Fatal 4-way now, just purely because of the amount of matches we've got. And it will see, I think we'll go that way, Fatal 4-way, we'll go Toni Storm, Jamie Hayter, Chris Statlander, and Io Shirai. And that sounds bloody class for a thing. And a Grand Prix makes sense if you've got more than 2 people in the matchup. But 64, obviously the reasons for the two reasons for the negative rating. After the matchup, Mercedes Moné is caught in the back by the remarkable Renee Paquette. She's irate. She goes up to Renee and she says, I cannot believe this, Renee. I've been cost my shot at the Shine Grand Prix trophy. I've been cost my match at Double or Nothing. I've been cost money, and there's a price to pay around here when you mess with Mercedes Moné. Completely stealing that line from her. But the segment was a 63. It's weird, their promos don't quite cut it either. Our ring stuff has not been quite to the level I want it to be. But there is a plan for her. I'm really happy with the idea I've got. But please stop using creative control, Mercedes. It's really annoying. But 63 anyway for this segment. And once I know the full card for Double or Nothing, we'll obviously run it down. Which is still tweaking it, tweaked a wee bit. Next up, Decent Wild Brawl, we had the Continental Champion Kenny Omega defeating the Beast Mortos in 12:03 with the One-Winged Angel. Okay stuff here. The Wild Brawl's not going to suit Kenny, but it was where I felt the Wild Brawl would be best suited in the show to help Mortos. 61-50 and a 64 overall. 69 performance for Kenny Omega. We then cut to a short segment backstage. It's the Blade and someone approaches him. And that person happens to be Kip Sabian. Listen, Blade, I know you need a partner for the Briscoes Cup due to Butcher's injury, and I know no one can really replace him, but we do go back and you know you can trust me, so what do you say? Blade's a wee bit indecisive. He's like, really? God, I mean, fine. Okay. Which leads to Kip saying, great. Just watch what I'm going to do in my match tonight against Samoa Joe. You won't be disappointed. Blade looks less than thrilled. So yeah, I felt like that was a good way to put Kip Sabian in with the Blade. I think you can imagine that the Butcher and the Blade were never going to win anything, so aye. That was no way, just covering it storyline wise. 42. I felt if I'd done it here, they could have matches on Rampage and I can cover that group pretty quickly. Decent match up next as Wheeler Yuta defeats Dustin Rhodes in 7:45 with the Yuta lock. Simple effective match to give Yuta some more momentum heading forward. And yeah, pretty decent. 61 with a 64 from Yuta. After the matchup, we just see Yuta picking up the win and he shouts to the crowd, come on Bryan, I want an answer. Simple, effective, we kind of heel work after the matchup. And that was a 58 from Wheeler Yuta. Then moved on to the Briscoes Tag Team Cup, Group A, and with a decent match up here that saw Aussie Open defeat the Outrunners in 5:39 when Kyle Fletcher defeated Truth Magnum with the Coriolis. This match was designed to tell a story. Fletcher head and shoulders above the rest with in-ring work, 81. Pretty much gives Aussie Open the win here. They will be heading to that triple threat match for the Briscoes Tag Team Cup. And that was a 67 overall, which is pretty good. As I say, we can get some really good stuff out of Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis. And it's going well so far. We then cut to a segment backstage. We see the TNT champion Rush enter Scott D'Amore's office alongside his manager Jake the Snake Roberts. I'm just going to ping this up because it's quite a lot of text. So, Mr. D'Amore, what brings this meeting? Says Jake. Well, first off, gentlemen, thank you for joining me, and Rush, congratulations on taking advantage of your opportunity and winning the TNT Championship from Daniel Garcia. I know MJF did help, but well done regardless. Rush says, what are you trying to say? It's a terrible accent. Scott D'Amore says, it doesn't matter. What does matter is about moving forward and the future of the TNT Championship. You were given a great opportunity to win the belt, and now we're going to give people the same opportunity at Double or Nothing. Jake Roberts replies, what do you mean by people? Scott D'Amore says, Double or Nothing, it will be the TNT Championship hung above the ring, with Rush and 5 people looking for opportunities in a ladder match. Rush basically says, you cannot do this, you mess with me again, and you will get the horns. So I felt like it was a good opportunity to kind of have like a massive ladder match and give people opportunities. There'll be, I don't think there'll be debuts, but there'll definitely be returns, like people that maybe haven't been used. That was the idea but had, because obviously people looking for opportunities. So we'll see who we get towards that. I think I've got 2 people like I guarantee I want in, but yeah, should give a good, it should elevate the TNT Championship. That's the main thing we're looking from that. Next up, another backstage segment. We have Aussie Open and Will Ospreay, of course, United Empire. Well done, boys. You did it. Yous are off to the final at Double or Nothing. Fully deserved, lads, says Will Ospreay. Yes, Will, I can't quite believe we've done it. We've done so well. So Ospreay says, man, how about you lads head back to the hotel and get ready for drinks to celebrate. I'll come join you tonight after I beat Jay Lethal. Kyle says, you sure, mate? Absolutely, bruv. Don't sweat it. So 52, I don't know much about Mark Davis's promo skills, hence why I kind of reluctantly don't use them for that. But everything from Ospreay and a bit from Fletcher, but Aussie Open obviously here, not very good on scripted. But 52, it's building a story. This one worked out well, I'm quite happy with it. Short promo, Samoa Joe alongside Renee Paquette, and this was an 82. Just him saying, Takeshita, Callus, and that Samoa Joe kind of shouty voice. I'm going to keep this short and sweet, but take a few moments to watch this upcoming massacre that my opponent is about to endure, because this is merely just getting the rounds and the reps in before 1 week on Sunday, I take that international championship away from you, and I put you to sleep. Just want to check something. Oh no, I done it as an interview. I wasn't sure if I had made Samoa Joe work the crowd, but for an interview. Joe, I think you're going to be speaking a lot more if we were getting segments like that, but good stuff with him and Renee. And Joe's match was always going to be quick, simple. Defeats Kip Sabian, 539, submission, kick unit clutch. Just a 62. Sadly, Joe was really off his game, so he probably would have got maybe a high 60, maybe into the 70s. But it is what it is. Joe benefiting from being in amazing form. I cannot wait to see how Joe does with Takeshita. In a little segment backstage, we had the AEW Women's World Champion Mariah May alongside her Women's Authority figure, Jessie Mackay. Jessie says, your idea for a women's tournament, it was fantastic, but this is an outrage that we have a pay-per-view with no Mariah May on the card. On the show, your champion. You know, where is she? What are you going to do about it? So Jessie says, well, you're not the only one to voice concerns. I will sort this. Mercedes, I'm still unsure about, but with you, I think we can work something out for you. Stay patient. So 63. I know what I'm doing with both, but Mercedes doesn't really involve Jessie, Mariah's does. So overall, good stuff. Jessie improvised well, and a 63. I'll take that. In the Briscoes Tag Team Cup Group C, whereabout that had some good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd as the Young Bucks defeated Alex Reynolds and John Silver in 10:02 when Matthew Jackson pinned John Silver with the Meltzer driver. Made it steal the show, knew the Bucks would carry it by an 89, some good stuff there, and a 76 overall. kind of wish I kind of mingled the two tournaments in, but I think I was so scared that the women's tournament wouldn't be done in time. That's how that kind of took the precursor to the tag team. But hey, both divisions should hopefully be in a better position after the tournament. This only got a 59 for the promo. Well, that's worrying. So just have a few words here from MJF. So did you just think I was going to sit back and let Daniel Garcia ride on the coattails of seriously injuring me? Like, really? Like, hell no. As soon as I saw he was champion, I made it my mission to not only ensure that he lost that belt, but also ensure that he suffered the same fate as me, obviously, pile driver, hurt neck. So Danny, I took time to recover, I got better, but I'm not affording you that opportunity. Double or nothing, one final match. Then I will never ever deal with your ass ever again, and I can go back to the top of AEW. So it's not even asking for a yes or a no from you, it's see you there, or you forfeit, but after it, you get the hell out of my life. So just MJF laying down the law, he wants no more Garcia, it comes to an end at double or nothing whether Garcia likes it or not. 59. And our main event should ensure we seal pop, which is good. I was a bit kind of worried when I put Jay Lethal in, but I felt like Ospreay should do some good stuff in there, and to be fair, delighted they had great chemistry, didn't know that one, so it was about that had some good wrestling, decent reaction from the crowd. Ospreay obviously defeats Jay Lethal in 10:31 with the Hidden Blade. Made it steal the show as well, just to try and boost that rating up a little bit. Could have made it 20 minutes, possibly, but I feel it served its purpose absolutely fine. You wonder, I think it's maybe capped at 80. I'd be intrigued to see if Jay Lethal was on his game, because obviously I think you maybe looking at a 58 there. But I can't argue, as I say, it was just a match-up to make Will Ospreay look $1 million, to be fair, and it done its job. And we finish the show, Will Ospreay picks up the win over Jay Lethal in our main event, and hold on, out of nowhere, it's Hangman Adam Page with a chain wrapped around his fist, and he smashes Ospreay right between the eyes, leaving the aerial assassin on the ground. With Aussie Open already left the building, Ospreay has no one to help him, as Hangman stands above him in deep anger as we end the show. I haven't believed that I started the storyline already, but obviously they have had a few segments, but 77 as Hangman and Ospreay go to war. What an amazing thing is here, so that took up the full 125 minutes of runtime. We never even covered the world title, so that'll take precursor on Collision. And we obviously still need to hear from Bryan Danielson, plus a hell of a lot more. So I think we're probably looking at getting to All In, and then I might go for the brand split. There's just too many workers that I want to use, and obviously people I want to bring in. I want to give people time for matches, because that's how you help improve them, and I'm not trying to get all the achievements here. So yeah, we don't need those 100 rated matches, because we've not done anything close recently. But I do think we need to get the company higher in terms of size, so the wrestler's pot goes higher, and then obviously the rest can take care of itself. But overall, I'm really happy with that one, a 78, that increased their popularity in 31 regions. I think that'll be more international than domestic, so we probably will stay about a 75, but quite happy with that one. As I say, I think it told a lot in terms of stories. We progressed the tournaments, we ended some, and it's going to be good when we finish the tag tournament as well, because everything will be like storyline, and we'll utilise like Rampage and Shockwave as probably, I think Shockwave will move to a B show just to get people the reps in with matches. I think that's going to be the plan. But overall, happy with it. Locker room incidents between shows, none. I'm going to go book Rampage, and then we'll cover that and we'll look at Collision. So moving on to Rampage. It was actually a pretty decent show thanks to our main event. But we started off with this tag team spectacular episode, you could say, with a few words from Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. They just basically say they are going to be watching the show, seeing how the next two matches unfold and how it affects their group. 71. Private Party defeated Alex Reynolds and John Silver, which was a 65, and the Grizzled Young Veterans defeated the Workhorsemen, which was a 68. This caused some words then from the Grizzled Young Veterans, which was a 49, just basically saying they're back to their best and they're going to look to win this group and move forward to double or nothing. We had FTR defeat MXM Collection, which was a 67, which I was quite happy with. And then some words from Harwood and Wheeler, just basically saying they need a bit of a miracle, they need MXM Collection to defeat the Kings of the Black Throne, and then to make sure they can win a playoff match after that. They said it's unlikely, but they are still top guys and out. We then had a hype package, I would say, just the usual Acclaimed intro, which was a 65 from Bones and Caster. We had the Acclaimed defeat Kip Sabian, the replacement partner, and the Blade, which was a 57. And our main event saw the Lucha Bros pick up 3 points as they defeated the Righteous. It was a bit of a meaningless one because of Aussie Open already winning that group. But, yeah, Lucha Bros are still going to deliver for me, which is good stuff. So that was Rampage, ticking off most of the tournament. It's now time to move to Collision. So we're in the Baxter Arena for Collision, and we start with some words from the AEW World Champion Orange Cassidy, and he's basically targeting Swerve Strickland with his words. Next Sunday at Double or Nothing, I will step in to the main event as your AEW World Champion. I stepped into that ring exactly 6 years ago to the day that I stepped into that ring exactly 6 years to the day that I stepped into ring in AEW ring for the first time, which, Double or Nothing 2025 matches up to Double or Nothing from 2019. Yeah, now that time it didn't quite go my way, but look at the journey we've had since then. You get eliminated by Tommy Dreamer. Thanks Wikipedia, I hope that was right. He says, you believed in me, and it saw me grow as a competitor, winning several championships here in AEW, including this world title that belongs in my backpack. So Swerve, you better bring your all at Double or Nothing, because you're facing me and you're facing all the AEW fans. So just basically saying about the story he's had, the 6 years in AEW, storyline gained some heat, and an 82. So yeah, as long as our main event delivers, we're on for a stellar show. Opening contest was a matchup for the TBS Championship. It hadn't been defended for a while, and in a decent while brawl, Athena defeats Thekla in 7:41 with the top rope stunner. 8th defence, it was always going to be an easy win for Athena, but I felt like it would be a good match to put on for her, and she brought a 73 rating and a 64 rated segment. We then bump into Samoa Joe in the back, and he sees Nick Wayne. Nick Wayne, relax, I come in peace, I come in offering. I've been watching you from afar, and I've seen you pick up some impressive victories, and you're on a bit of a roll. However, I need some competition before I battle Takeshita at Double or Nothing. So how about you step forward and step up, young man, and do battle with me? Nick Wayne says, now Joe, I've turned a new leaf, but so have you. So do you know what? I accept. This is a level of opponent I need to test myself at. So that match is going to happen on Shockwave. Nick Wayne versus Samoa Joe. And that promo was a 58. Also a 58 was our next contest. A decent matchup. Sammy Guevara defeated Johnny TV in 7:41 with a Go to Hell. 54 for the wrestling, 43 crowd, 58 segment overall. Both guys bring a 58 and a 51. I would have hoped those styles would have maybe meshed a little bit better. Not to be. I believe this was probably rated more on performance than in-ring performance, but yeah, we need to build Sammy back up. And that's another reason why. He's cut the promo. I heard about this TNT Championship ladder match at Double or Nothing, giving people opportunities. Well, I had a quiet 2024 and I don't want 2025 to be a repeat, so as a 3-time former TNT champion, I am putting my hat in the ring to be a part of that match, to grab the bull by the horns and win the title for the 4th time, baby. So 35 there. Sammy Guevara will be in that TNT ladder match. We then see AJ Styles backstage with Nick Wayne, and he just says, Nick, I saw what Joe said to you earlier on, and I just want to warn you, kid. He's a dangerous man. Be careful. You're good, but watch out, because when Joe switches it on, he's great and he's dangerous. And then Nick Wayne just says, thanks AJ, appreciate you looking out for me. So basically, as soon as AJ Styles signed, he basically was straight in as a mentor for Nick Wayne. So that was quite cool to see. I haven't had them interact on television yet, but obviously we're going to build towards that at one point. And that was kind of planting a wee bit of seed there. So 64. Of course, AJ has a big match up with Kenny Omega coming up. So we side story for him. We then had the tag match. It was a decent matchup. So the team of Jack Perry and Rhino defeat the Outrunners in 6:05 when Jack Perry pinned Turbo Floyd with a Canadian Destroyer. Storytelling matchup. Basically, Rhino just does the spear and then sets Jack Perry up to finish it. But the good thing is he gets a 72 here, so that's some good stuff there. Looks good. And a 65 segment. It's a shame, obviously, the plan was to put him with Brian Cage as well, but that injury kind of shelved those plans. But as I say, Rhino is just somebody that can just come in, be a beast, and I think he's actually retiring quite soon. I probably should double check that. So, yeah. Well, to be fair, if he's retiring, I can still use him as a manager. Just means he won't feature in matches. He can still just kind of interfere and gore people. And I'm quite happy with that. We had the Briscoe's Tag Team Cup Group C matchup. It was about that had some good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. The Grizzled Young Veterans defeat the Guns in 9:21 when Zach Gibson pinned Austin Gunn, with a ticket to Mayhem. Gibson being the strongest performer with a 78, but overall, 65 wrestling, 48 for the crowd, 68 for the segment, puts the GYV in a very strong position. And they're followed up in their group by Private Party versus the Workhorsemen. If Private Party pick up the win, it is 3 teams winning the group. And it was a decent matchup that saw Private Party defeat the Workhorsemen in 8:30 when Mark Quinn pinned Anthony Henry with the gin and juice. Tried to steal the show, unfortunately only gave us a 66 overall, but it means that tournament group is finished, 3 winners, and we'll decide what happens with that later on the show. So basically the Bucks, Private Party and the GYV all end up on the same points. We cut back to Willow Nightingale, who is with the Women's Authority figure Jessie Mackay. Well, Willow, given what we have discussed, do you wish to tell the world? Basically giving a front stage and centre to speak to the audience. Yes, I do. After speaking to Jessie and giving my perspective, I can confirm that at Double or Nothing, I will be the woman stepping forward to battle Mariah May for the AEW World Championship. I know I came up short in the Grand Prix, but I felt I put on some great performances, and I know given our history that me and Mariah have, we'll have a classic. And this time, I won't come up short. So, basically, obviously my main women are all in that 4-way matchup. We've got Mercedes with something, and this was a situation to give us a title match of Mariah May versus Willow Nightingale. Jessie's getting better gimmick, and a 63 I'm happy with. This one flopped, but it was understandable, just one of those group matches to get out of the way. Extremely short matchup. Angelo Parker and Matt Menard defeated Kip Sabian in the Blade in 5:15 when Matt Menard pinned Kip Sabian with an elbow drop. Group B matchup, a 28 because the crowd didn't particularly like it, but yeah, not looking good for Kip at this point in time. We then had Tony Schiavone come out and confirm that we will hear from Mercedes Moné this coming Wednesday on Dynamite to confirm her plans for Double or Nothing. That was a 57. And the final match in Group B, it had some good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd as the Kings of the Black Throne defeated the MXM Collection in 8:39 when Brody King pinned Mansoor with Dante's Inferno. In terms of in-ring work, Brody King was head and shoulders above the rest with a 78. Malachi was a bit off his game. And yeah, the tag team champions advanced to the final. So we've got Aussie Open, we've got the Kings of the Black Throne, and one other tag team for that triple threat final at the event. Double or Nothing. So that was a 70. Pretty decent. Happy with that. We then hear from Scott D'Amore, who, given the outcomes of tonight's matches, he's going to make 2 massive announcements for the Briscoe's Cup. With the Young Bucks, the Grizzled Young Veterans and Private Party all tied on points, this will mean that on Shockwave tonight, we will see a triple threat main event. And the winner will advance to the finals to join Aussie Open and the Kings of the Black Throne. So obviously that's including the likes of those 3 teams mentioned before. Speaking of the final, should the winner of the final not be the Kings of the Black Throne, so whoever's going to win is going to win the cup. But if it is not the Kings of the Black Throne that win it, the winning team will also earn a shot at the AEW World Tag Team Championships at Battle of the Belts at the start of June. So you could potentially see Kings of the Black Throne versus any of those teams and against Aussie Open. Remains to be seen. But that was a 43 for that Scott D'Amore announcement. So a lot of people in that angle. And the main event, basically just making sure we gain pop. But a technical masterclass that saw great wrestling and good heat. Bryan Danielson defeats PAC in 20:37 by submission with a cattle mutilation. 88 for Bryan, only a 63 for PAC. I really need to start pushing him and not having him lose matches all the time, but just where he's standing is in the Death Riders. But 76 for the wrestling, 58 for the crowd, and 82 for the segment. And the storyline advancing and gained heat. And we finished the show with some odds from Bryan Danielson. Will Utah, I hope you watched this war with PAC. I've accepted your challenge, so there's no backing out now. And if this is what me and a world-class athlete like your friend PAC can do in 20 minutes, what the hell do you think I'm going to do to you in 60? I'm going to stretch you. I'm going to hurt you. Your actions in the last 6 to 7 months have not gone unnoticed. It's got me thinking, Were you aiding Claudio when you ended my full-time run at the time? Was the struggles you had just a ploy to get me back in the ring to do battle with me? At Double or Nothing, I'm going to break you, and then that's where it'll be before I get to the end game, John Moxley. So basically, Bryan pointing some kind of seizing some accusations towards Wheeler Yuta. Did Yuta purposely try and stop him being a full-time wrestler? And did Yuta have to drag him back into full-time wrestling because of the whole scenario with, the faction warfare? Him obviously wasn't aligned with the Death Riders, but then eventually did. So, yeah, troubling times ahead between Yuta and Bryan. But as I say, 60-minute Ironman match. The pay-per-view will be about 5 hours, but we're only looking at the text. We're not watching it, so it shouldn't be too bad. So overall, show increases of popularity in 11 regions. I'm hoping that's the 11 regions of the US. But yeah, pretty happy with that one. As they say, 2 promos were fine. Main event match was fine. The rest of it you can kind of utilise to develop wrestlers and progress storylines. So obviously remember, this is the only show that isn't on the AEW network. Any locker room incidents before we head to Shockwave? Chris Statlander and Commander have bonded recently. Orange Cassidy has been talking to Austin Gunn a lot and seems to have some degree in influence his behaviour. Interesting. And that's all that's taken place. So we will be right back with some Shockwave. So Shockwave begins with Mark Briscoe versus Jay White from the Baxter Arena. Just over 7,000 fans in attendance. And this one saw a good wild brawl that saw Switchblade Jay White pick up the win over Mark Briscoe in 13:45 with the Blade Runner. 69 for the wrestling, 57 for the crowd, and a 75 segment. Some good stuff there. Good to know they've got pretty good chemistry as well. Briscoe brings a 60 to Switchblade's 78. After the match, we have some words from Switchblade. Now, boys, since your friends FTR and my guild members Colton and Austin Gunn are out of the cup that was named after you and your fallen brother, Mark starts to clench his fist in a wee bit of anger because Jay's been mentioned. I think it's about time we continue this war the company has of some stable warfare, and I think that we'll look to take those trios titles from you at Double or Nothing, where you will feel the wrath of the Switchblade. So basically, 2 matches came to my head when I was literally just chilling, and I thought, yep, let's do it. It's going to be a very stacked card, 14 matches I think we're looking at. But hey, it's Double or Nothing, you've got to make the big shows really stand out. So yeah, Cheers Championships will be on the line. We will see Mark Briscoe and FTR defend those against the Bang Bang Gang, and that is Jay White, Austin Gunn, and Colton Gunn. So that promo was a 73, so decent stuff. Next matchup was decent. Eddie Kingston defeating Kyle O'Reilly in 11:18 with the Blackout Lariat. I seem to struggle with Eddie, and despite these two having pretty good chemistry together, only lifted it to a 65. But again, good to know that these two had chemistry, because it was kind of a toss up between if it was going to be Kyle O'Reilly or Eddie Kingston. Eddie picks up the win though, and instantly Kyle O'Reilly nods to Adam Cole and Roderick Strong to join him in the ring. Eddie quickly grabs the mic though, and he goes, nah, this ain't gonna happen. They heads towards him, and then Sierra Meadow hits, and we see Penta and Rey Fenix run out to a line next to Eddie Kingston. The Undisputed Kingdom decide to back off, but Eddie's got some more words to say. You see, when this match got put together, I had an incline that this might happen, so luckily I bumped into a few friends who were happy to have my back. A few friends like myself who don't have a match next Sunday at Double or Nothing, and it would be a travesty if myself and the Lucha Bros didn't make the card. So Adam Cole, you and your little friends better get some balls, and you'll join us at the pay-per-view in trios action. Yep, I thought I haven't got Eddie in the card, I haven't got Adam Cole in the card. Here's a good way to put them all together. We quick program on Shockwave, and we have a little 6-man trios tag, just showing how stacked our division can be if we really need it to be. So the first angle was basically the save, which was a 61. The Eddie promo was only a 57. Adam Cole's performance was fantastic, but Roddy was the one who performed poorly, and overall it gave us a 59. A wee bit of last minute booking, admittedly, with a week to go, but I just felt like there's some wrestlers you just have to have on the card. Then I had the tag match. It was decent. It was Camille and Sky Blue from Money Corporation defeating Danny Luna, who's recently signed, and Yuka Sakazaki, and 7:41 with Sky Blue pinned Yuka with the sliced bread. Made it storytelling. Yuka carried the match up. Actually pleasing as well to see that the inevitable gimmick for Danny Luna was great, and the great chemistry that Danny and Yuka had together. So I didn't know that, so that was nice to see. Other benefits there, Sky Blue benefiting from the groundswell of public support. I've got to say, a 59 is pretty good, but that's probably mostly because of the 65 of Yuka Sakazaki. But I felt the Money Corporation needed a win, and this was a good chance to give them that. Next we see a Kenny Omega training vignette ahead of his mega matchup next week for the AEW Continental Championship as he defends against AJ Styles, continues their storyline, gains a little bit of heat, and a 63 segment. But then at about they had some good heat and decent wrestling with a shock win for Nick Wayne defeating Samoa Joe at 9:02 by pinfall following a distraction from Konosuke Takeshita. This one was a 64 overall. Sadly Joe was off his game with a 61, but both of them had great chemistry. To explain why this took place, Nick Wayne had a promise from Samoa Joe that Samoa Joe was happy to put him over. So yeah, that was a way we could weasel into a storyline. A good thing to see here though, really off his game in a 61 probably means Joe could have been high 60s. And it means that then Joe's got a wee reason to get a bit of retribution from Takeshita. After the matchup, we see Don Callis with Takeshita backstage, and he says, "Well done, Nick Wayne, a great victory over Samoa Joe. But this Wednesday on Dynamite, it's time to test yourself at the highest level as you'll do battle with Konosuke Takeshita." So there you go, you can interject him into that matchup. So we've already got some words from Mercedes this week. We've got Takeshita versus Nick Wayne so far on the Dynamite Go Home show before Double or Nothing, and that was a 65. And the main event did deliver. It was a triple threat match. The winners going into the triple threat match at Double or Nothing for the Briscoe Tag Cup. And it was about to have some great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd as the Young Bucks defeated the Grizzled Young Veterans in Private Party in 14-18 with Matt Jackson pin Mark Quinn with the Meltzer Driver. Made it steal the show. They certainly did that. Some great performances in there. The weakest, I would say, by Drake with being really off his game. But just the Bucks really bring it. Nick Jackson and they win 93. But it confirms we will see Aussie Open, Kings of the Black Throne, Young Bucks, triple threat match for the AEW. Not for the AEW World Championship, sorry, for the Briscoe's Tag Team Cup. So overall, we increased our popularity in 22 regions. We didn't really fill out too many storylines. Obviously, I had to be filming AJ just to make sure we got that. But I was planning at one point of patching Shockwave, but forgetting it only made it 90 minutes means we can really utilise it as a show if we kind of need to get some storylines over. So with 14 matches taking place at the pay-per-view, yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world to have, but 22 regions is fine. You obviously the strong Dynamite as well, and obviously our profit's good. I'm basically looking to get to like 136 million and it'll upgrade to being bigger in the US. We can see there 76, a lot of 75s, ever so closer to that next level. So we'll jump back to main screen, see if anything else has taken place on Saturday the 17th. But yeah, next week will be vital. We hope to have a really strong Dynamite and Shockwave. I'd like to hope I might just throw every egg in the basket, give it like the biggest stage, the biggest celebrities, and maybe have Double or Nothing to be so successful that it can maybe give us the jump to the next size. It's a risk, especially with the main event being for the AEW World Championship, Swerve Strickland and Orange Cassidy. That is going to be main event, I can confirm that. So Collision was excellent, that's good to see. Shockwave draw a lot of praise, that's good to see as well. Anything that directly affects us? Not that I can see. Nope, Nick Comoroto is out for a little bit, but that's about it. And we confirm that Jasper Khan will get a new deal to stay in Ring of Honor, if I can find ROH. There we go. And Pat Buck, of course, as we look to bring Taylor Wilde for Ring of Honor as well. You can just see there, yeah. So Roman Reigns didn't get offered a new deal by WWE, but because we are too small, he won't speak to us. And at the same time, I don't really feel he's realistic. Like, I'd bring him in to boost the company, but I don't know, I feel that the people we bring in are people you'd associate that would probably make the jump in terms of, or they'll have a connection with either previously being in Ring of Honor, being an independent talent, but Roman just would be a wee bit out of place. Oh, okay, Camille's apparently charismatic. Really? Oh well, that's fair. Yeah, It's going to be a big week for AEW. We have a lot of stuff happening. And as I say, a really, really big pay-per-view to look forward to. I'll go over the match card. It'll be next week because there's so many matches. I mean, make sure we list every single one of them and we try and make sure that they have as much heat as possible as well. So, as always, cheers for watching. Hopefully, join us for those 4 TV shows. And then the following episode after that will be the pay-per-view. But take it easy. Remember to check out the Fantasy Booker subreddit, Google Software Forums, twdb.com, and bethebooker.net. And I shall catch you next time for some more TW for the Sickos.